Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fate Grand Order. So basically, we're gonna get started on the Lostbelt 3 Prologue. Yeah, don't really have anything else to say about that. I have a vague idea of what's gonna happen here. I know we're gonna meet some people, get a new base, but I don't know the details, so let's see. How long has it been since I left the colony of survivors? Huh. That's right, there was signs of survivors. I managed to keep a log for the first 30 days, but now it just feels like I've lost the ability to keep track of time. In my defense, it's hard to count the days when we don't have nights anymore. It all blurs together. I still have no idea how things got to this point, but what I can say for sure is that somehow the sun is shining on every corner of the world at once. With everything bleached white as far as the eye can see, you get numb to time as well as distance. My food and water are starting to run out. Once they do, that'll be it for me. At least my old motorcycle is still purring like a kitten. Who might this be? I never expected this solar generator to work this well or for this long. It proved you can ride an old motorcycle from Australia to North America as long as you have a surface to ride on and a solid engine. Is this anybody we know? All I drive over seems to be endless white wasteland. No, maybe wasteland isn't the right word. It's more like pavement without so much as a single crack or seam to be seen. Huh. It's nothing like a desert either. There's just nothing here. I don't even get that natural sort of austerity wastelands give off. It's not so much that it seems like life's died out as that it never existed to begin with. Case in point, I've not seen even a single sign of death or decay this whole time. Not a single corpse. No plants, no animals, no insects, not so much as a microbe. This isn't a dead world, it's an empty one. There's nothing, not even bacteria to make food spoil. It feels clean. Too clean. Never mind that last bit. I must be more tired than I thought. I'm getting overly sensitive. I can see an unnatural shape just ahead. Probably more remnants. I think I'll rest there today. Maybe there'll even be some food left if I'm lucky. Remnants, in this case, are areas that somehow escaped the reset. Or, well, more places that remained in part despite being reset. The colony I left behind was situated in one such remnant. If any satellites were still intact, we might have even been able to find and connect with other survivors. Not that it would have made us any less powerless to fix all this. After all, if that tree were to attack again, humanity would be well and truly gone. So whoever this is knows what's going on. Survivors, 0. Signs of people having been here, 1. A single message. No food, sadly, but any port in a storm. Besides, just seeing artifacts of civilization like this again does wonders for my morale, even if it is in gutted ruins from a brutal invasion. What? Huh? David? I shrug my shoulders as I sit down on what used to be a sofa. The shrug is just a desperate ploy to convince myself I'm calm, but strangely it still helped. What do you mean, David? I play back the only message data to be found. It is essentially the same as all the others out there. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Run away, run away, run away. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Why, why, why? No, no, no. Help me, help me, help me. Please forgive me. There it is again. Why? Why were these people attacked? Why were they erased? I did my best to recall that day calmly and objectively. The year when Earth fell to invaders from another world. Truth be told, we had time to prepare. Maybe it was only 12 hours, but it was still time we could have used. On that New Year's Eve, we lost every satellite around the world in an instant. In consequence, we were not able to observe a single cosmic ray, even as the whole world was reduced to a blank dust-gray sphere. I know now that it was a membrane in the sky, a dome of sorts made by the tree's branches that was placed over the entire world. But we weren't exactly in a position to sit down and take stock of what happened on that day, not with all the crazy things going on. 12 hours later, Armageddon. A total slaughter. A massacre on an unimaginable scale. Uncountable tree things descended on the earth like so many tentacles from space. They crawled across the world, finding and exterminating all forms of life with unerring accuracy and unnerving tenacity, killing almost every human on the planet over the course of 3 months. Three months? We were in void space all that time. Oh, I don't like that. We could have done something. After that, the trees just disappeared, returning to the sky and leaving behind a blank, desolate world. Is 3 months the time gap between the Lostbelt 2 Prologue, or Lostbelt Prologue rather, and Anastasia's release? I think it is. That's an upsetting revelation. Even now, thinking about it makes me tremble. Not at the revelation that aliens really did exist. Not even the realization that our world, our civilization, had been erased and would never return. No, what scared me was those trees' tenacity. The way they extended their branches to destroy a person's heart with a single stab. Upon their death, people would instantly turn to dust, their agonizing screams still echoing around them. There were no exceptions. Even though these aliens possessed weapons of mass destruction large enough to blot out the sky, they chose not to use them. Instead, they went out of their way to erase billions upon billions of people one at a time. Okay, so things are way worse than I thought they were. Jesus. They were like some kind of twisted artisan burning with perverse passion for their craft. Those of us who did survive, like myself, only managed to do so by being hidden in underground facilities at the time. Dizziness starts to overwhelm me. Maybe I've been under a bit more strain than I realized. I'll just rest up here for today. Tomorrow I'll set back off on my journey of wishful thinking. I may not have much food left, but assuming I've stayed on track, I should be at my destination soon. It's the last place any of our satellites caught on camera. The only place in this whole world that hasn't been wiped clean. An area in southern Nevada. Huh. Really? That's right. My destination is the Air Force Base known as Area 51. Signed, David Bluebook. I see. So, not the David we know. Different David. That threw me off. Oh, jeez. This is... wow. Okay. Did we drive into a whole other world when I wasn't looking? I'm not sure what he sounds like, actually. Does he even have a voice? I don't know. It was nothing but clear skies as far as the eye could see just a moment ago. Now, we've got an announcement of my own. I estimate the border has about an hour until it sinks. Yeah, just one problem. There's no land to go back to. We're smack in the middle of the North Sea. Da Vinci, can we still initiate a zero sail here? Surely that must be preferable to sinking to our deaths. We can't! The formulas won't be stable enough on water. We'd have to rewrite the software from scratch. Hang on, we're getting a call. Go ahead and open up a line, Mr. Munier? I think that's how you say it. It's like French. And hurry, Da Vinci's no use to us right now. Right, on it. CQ, this is the Wandering Seas dock. Do you read me? That vessel. That would be Caldea's ship, right? No, wait, not a ship. Oh, I see, a tank. I'm assuming this is Sion talking. Rational, yes, very rational. A ship is unnecessary for a zero sail. But I say, you have no sense for design. It might as well be a large metal coffin. Nothing charming there at all. I'm using this voice, but I actually don't know what Sion sounds like either. Be honest, you would never have made it back without my paper moon, would you? Still, a fine job making it all the way here. Everything is proceeding within my calculations. It's coming from the Wandering Sea, but where? Where? Right in front of you. Oh, hang on, let me clear the fog. It should be easier to see then. Proceed on your current course, though you may want to reduce your speed. And be sure to give thanks. Alright, this will be the first time in over 2,000 years that this island has revealed itself on a day other than December 31st. Welcome to the Primordial Magecraft Workshop, the Baldanders of the Wandering Sea. My name is Sion Eltnam Sokaris. I am a Spiritron hacker who escaped to the Wandering Sea when I predicted that the world was about to end. I have been waiting for you. Being the Atlas Institute's last remaining member, the Wandering Sea higher-ups entrusted me with the project of righting this bleached Earth problem. Okay, I know that was just a minute ago, but... well, we followed the directions that bizarre transmission gave us right to this lump of rock. Now, can you tell me what this is about, Da Vinci? I'm glad the border isn't bobbing around like a damned cork. But have we been sinking these last few minutes or haven't we? I have the same question. It seemed to me like the border sank underwater before it emerged on the surface. Don't look at me, I didn't do anything. Once we got to those rocks, it felt like the currents kind of carried the border the rest of the way. Looks like I tried to steer us, but the currents were just much too strong. The border sank about 40 meters, but then popped up a good 30. I think we must have gotten into the Wandering Sea from underneath, since I didn't exactly see a front door. Perhaps that is how they go about docking ships here, or how they keep ordinary ships away. Sounds right to me. I just wish she would have given us a little heads up. Then, does that mean we can go outside now? That would appear to be the logical conclusion. The issue at hand, however, is... Are we sure this is the Wandering Sea? And how do we know it's safe outside? Munier, fire up every sensor we've got. I want to know everything going on outside the border. Roger, but I've, already been doing that? I'm not picking up anything at all. Not a damn thing. Testing. Can you hear me over there? I'm afraid the Wandering Sea cannot be observed by any means created by or relying upon science. Not even partially. I would give up on trying to see what is going on outside that hunk of metal you have been riding around in. None of your sensors will see anything here. Besides, danger is a no-no here, and there's no way there would be anything wrong with my calculations. Her personality seems a bit different from what I've seen of Melty Blood. Like, I know she has different circumstances here than in Melty Blood, so I guess that would make sense. But it's unexpected. Right now, this is the most peaceful, happiest, scariest island in the whole world. How can it be peaceful and scary? At any rate, come on out, visitors. I did not open up my darling secret base today just so you could hole up in that big metal box of yours. Well, what should we do now, everyone? Since our sensors are blind, someone's gonna have to take one for the team and poke their head out. I nominate Holmes. Agreed. You can always use your Baritsu if things get dicey. Yeah, I also nominate Holmes. Unfortunately, I'm afraid I can't actually use Baritsu just yet. At this point, I dare say you could outfight me, Director. Good point. Holmes is going to need more time to recover from the injury he sustained in Scandinavia. Yeah, that's fair. So then, as the only combat-ready servant here, I should be the one to... Let's go say hi together, Mash. Right, I was just thinking the same things, Master. I expected her to say senpai there. Well, then I'm coming too. I'm way too curious to just stay on the border. Friend or foe, the Wandering Sea is still a mystic among mystics. No way would I pass up a chance to check out the place that still has mystics from the Age of Gods. You're better off not getting mixed up with those places if you ask me. They even say the clock tower is an inhospitable hell when you get right down to it. Yeah, the clock tower kinda sucks. I see you plebs know your place in your own way. You're quite right, Munier. Yeah. One should never move past one station to peer into the secrets of magecraft or the organizations that keep them. The moment you do, you'll be so shocked by how vastly they overpower you that you may find yourself bedridden and half mad for a month. It's all risk and no reward. Curiosity isn't what killed the cat, it was fear. However, as we humans are not cats, it is possible to overcome those fears, much like I did. Mash Kyrite. Cursor. I hereby authorize the two of you to investigate whatever lies outside. Once you're certain that there's no danger, call for me right away. Oh, and try to stay close to the border, would you? You should be no more than a 5-second sprint from here at the most. Roger that. Alright, I'm going to open the border's port hatch now. Are you ready, Master? All set here. I've got your backs. I may not be much use in a fight, but I can make damn sure nothing gets by my defenses. Thank you, Da Vinci. Opening the hatch now. It's incredible! Wow, this place is amazing! Look, Mash, look, Cursor! Oh, this is like top shelf secret base stuff. It's like a picture book come to life. Whoever designed this must have been such a dummy. Thanks for the kind words. I must be doing pretty well if the great Leonardo da Vinci, famous genius and notorious problem child, would speak like that about me. Wait, is that really Da Vinci? Isn't she a little off? Too girly? Just a little too high spec? Hey, you there, Master Cursor. Is that girl there really and truly Leonardo da Vinci? I sure am. I'm a Da Vinci backup unit made by the one and only Leonardo da Vinci herself. What about you? Are you the girl who contacted us? Oh, right. I was so surprised by Girl Vinci here that I forgot my manners. Okay, then. Cut. And take 2. I am Sion Altnum Socaris, an alchemist here to mess with you guys on behalf of the Atlas Institute. Yeah, she's way more, like, playful and cheery than in Melty Blood. Which, like, again, you know, I know about the different circumstances between Sion Socaris and Sion Atlasia. So it's like, yeah, that makes sense. It just caught me off guard. Oh, I also made Trismegistus, that thing. And the paper moon you were manhandling just a few minutes ago. So I'm here to collect damages you owe me for copyright infringement. It totals to about $790 million. So... yeah, you guys are boned. Whatever human rights you think you had are gone. Do you know what this means, Cursor? It means I own you. Lock, stock, and barrel, baby. So, mind just signing this contract here for me? I hereby confess to using Miss Sion's intellectual property without express permission. I also absolutely saw the end of humanity and such. Therefore, until repayment of said aforementioned unrepayable debt, I, Cursor, do hereby offer up the following. My body, my soul, and each and every one of my worldly possessions, past, present, and future, throughout the universe, to Sion. There you go. Mine just signing here, 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 and here. Initial there, too. Say, mine being modded? Are you into mecha, bioengineering, a mixture of both? Ah, what the heck, we can just throw them all in. Do not worry, it will not hurt at all. I love her. Wait. What? Oh, I love her. Just kidding. You do not owe me anything. I was only messing with you. Besides, I was just using old Zimbabwean dollar values, so you could totally have paid it back anyway. Sorry, I might have gotten a little carried away there. You will have to forgive me. I've never actually done this before. I know I sort of struck first, so to speak, when I contacted you earlier. So I was being all formal to try and put you at ease. But as you can see, I am not really like that. Just your everyday, mild-mannered alchemist here. That makes sense. You spoke so fast I didn't realize it right away. But there's no way anyone from the Atlas Institute would be so quick to pull out a contract. Yeah, that tracks. I see. An advanced technique designed to better break the ice during our first encounter. I don't know about that. Alright, let me introduce myself again. My name is Sion. Welcome to the Wandering Sea, Chaldeans. Leonardo da Vinci. Mash Kyrillite. Cursor. And... I did not see that animal mentioned in any of our data. I wonder if he is someone's familiar? I can sense a modicum of intelligence from it, like an AI that just started learning. Oh, is he gonna get smart again? Oh well, no problem. I already have a pretty good idea of who you guys are. I have not seen what has become of the outside world myself, but I do know what happened to Chaldea on the first day of 2020. You haven't seen the outside? Does that mean you have no immunity to the atmosphere? Oh no, I'm completely healthy. You have to be in good shape to use memory partition at a halfway decent level, after all. I just meant I did not have a need to go outside. Sorry for the misunderstanding, Mash. So who is in charge right now? From what information I have, it should be Da Vinci here, but given she has the whole kid thing going on, I assume that is no longer the case? I must have a gap in my information somewhere. Better get that sorted. Who would this be? I'm impressed you picked up on that. You look like a girl, and it would seem that you are, in fact, something of a girl. What's that supposed to mean? Indeed, the master/amateur mage, the demi-servant girl, and the capable... It's Gordolf. And the capable technical advisor are merely my subordinates. Who am I? Why, you surely need not ask. I am Chaldea's new director, and the man who will one day resurrect the golden age of the prestigious music estate, Gordolf Music. I see you're surprised that I'm still alive. I know that crest and that uniform. It would seem you truly are a mage of the Atlas Institute. That means it should have been absolutely trivial for you to predict the terrible tragedy that befell my Chaldea with your fancy parallel thought acceleration. I am keenly aware of how I fell for Koyanska's devious scheme, and so inadvertently allowed the cryptors to carry out their plan. No doubt I was the first one to be killed off in Atlas's prognostication. Stop using big words! The quickest way to ensure a plan's success is to take out your opposition's genius commander, after all. But, as you can see, I survived. Where did Holmes go? For no matter how poor the road conditions, how dire the weather, or how far behind I may be, I will never retire before the race is over. You're Gordolf, right? I am not surprised you are still alive, given your specs. Huh? You're not? Your odds were not great, but they were also not zero. I figured you would make it out of there as long as you had solid help and backup. No, it was the servant behind you that surprised me. Would you mind telling me your name? Yes, I do beg your pardon. I was preoccupied with keeping our new director safe, since he insisted on venturing out to see what was going on for himself. I am Sherlock Holmes, a ruler. As you are the Successor to the Great Atlas Institute. I trust that is all the introduction you need. Wait, you already know who I am? Even for a famed detective, it seems just a little suspicious that you already know that much about me. I guess she did never mention that she was the successor. Elementary, my dear Miss Sion. Your middle name, Eltnum, tells me all that I need to know. From there, all I need to do is contrast your behavior with our current situation, and the answer all but presents itself. BS, you're just quoting from her file. Now, don't go giving the game away, Mr. Cursor. You touched Trihermes? Now I see. This must have been during the sixth singularity. Why do you know about that? I read about that in a report to the Mages Association. So you managed to touch Trihermes directly without losing your mind, huh? Really now? No wonder you are the pinnacle of intelligence among servants. You and I are going to get along just fine. I don't know what Nemo sounds like either, actually. Come on, Sion. How much time are you going to waste talking? You want me to give this ship a tune-up, right? Hurry up and get the crew off it already. What? Do I have something on my face? You're kind of rude, aren't you? Right. Sorry about that. You don't have to apologize. I already know humans are rude. It's in your nature. All that magical energy. Are you a servant? Does that mean the Wandering Sea is also capable of summoning servants? Yeah, I snuck a peek at Chaldea's system, came up with my own take on it, and somehow managed to summon a single servant. I needed someone who could watch my back, and also make sure I would not break it. I mean, I could draw up blueprints all day on my own, but what good is that if nobody actually builds any of it, right? I'm still amazed that you managed to summon a heroic spirit somewhere besides Chaldea. Hello there, servant from the Wandering Sea. My name is Mashkyrelite. May I ask who you are? You don't have to tell me your true name. I'm no one. I don't have a name. If you have to call me something, just call me Nameless. Now get everyone out of here, Sion. I can't call everyone else with all these people in the way. This is painful to look at. It's worse than watching coral reefs die. What happened to this ship? I can hear it crying in pain. I need to fix it now before I go insane. Whoops, looks like someone got up on the wrong side of bed today, huh, Captain? Oh well, I guess I am unable to blame you, since you are even shyer than me. Captain? Is that some sort of joke? Are you mocking me? Well, what else can we call you? Would you prefer Prince? Fine. I guess Captain works since we have more guests now. At least it's better than Prince. It would seem you added something to that servant spirit origin. Am I correct, Miss Sion? Yeah, a phantom spirit. One cannot summon a decent heroic spirit without Mash's shield, you understand? Since I was missing powerful holy relics like that, I had to make do with whatever I could scrounge together to make his spirit origin. But do not ask me to reveal his true name. That is something a servant should choose to do. Once Captain trusts you guys, I am certain his identity will become clear. Anyway, right now, it is just me and Captain here. I promise there is nobody else around, so feel free to bring the rest of the Shadow Borders crew along. I have prepared a room for the staff where they can relax and rest up, but I am afraid I will have to ask all of you to join me for a little longer. I can imagine how exhausted you must be, and would love to sleep in a proper bed, but that must wait. This is just the entrance, see? Come on, I will take you to the command room. Heck yeah. Whoa. It's Chaldea's command room. Not quite, but similar. Yeah, I see how you could make that mistake, Cursor, but a mistake it would be. Chaldea's command room was actually modeled after this place. This is the masterpiece I have been assembling day and night for the last 3 months, ever since I first came to the Wandering Sea. I call it Spiritron Calculation Engine Trismegistus 2. A perfect reproduction of the Trismegistus... I really don't know how to pronounce that word. I lent to Chaldea, and the new brains of your operation. You don't say. You said you've been assembling it, so that must mean you brought the necessary materials along with you when you came here. Between the paper moon and all this groundwork you've been laying, you're obviously no ordinary mage. Sion Eltnam Socaris. It looks to me like you know even more about Chaldea than we do. Yeah, a lot of what I know comes from before Chaldea really even got off the ground. As you know, the pseudo-Spiritron calculation engine Tri-Hermes is the heart of Atlas Institute. My father, the head of Atlas at the time, was supposed to create Tri-Hermes' sister unit, Trismegistus, before its development was handed off to me. I proposed using paper moon-based zero sails as a method for sending people into the past. Well, into singularities anyway. But Chaldea's first director, Marisbury, had a different idea for a more reliable method. His proposal was a process he called ray shifting that involved transmitting physical bodies as spiritrons. It was a more proactive approach, given that it was closer to the Atlas Institute's prognostication. Hold on. Today's gonna be a big recording day for me and my throat's already sore. That's not a good sign. Not exactly the most cautious proposal, all told, but the fact that a mage like him was willing to reveal his most secret arts like that spoke volumes. I mean, if word had gotten out that the Animosphere family, one of the 12 Clock Tower Lords, was sharing technology with Atlas, it would have meant war with the other lords, leading ultimately to the end of the Animospheres. Director Marisbury understood the seriousness of the risks and chose to act anyway. So the Atlas Institute decided to accept Chaldea's request out of respect for the risks he took. Of course, none of the other lords ever did figure out what Marisbury was up to, so it ended up not really being a thing. Anyway, you all know what happened next. We provided Chaldea with Trismegistus, which enabled Chaldea to complete Chaldeus, and the Chaldea Security Organization went on to do what it was intended to. I am certain you all know more about Chaldea's actual exploits than I do. We were just the ones who gave you the tools to get things rolling. Indeed, we do know about Chaldea's connection to the Atlas Institute. We do not, however, know about you. How did you survive the reset of the world, and why were you waiting for us here in the Wandering Sea? Took the words right out of my mouth. You have a thing for asking questions you already know the answers to, huh, Sherlock? Are you obliged to? Will you die otherwise? I suppose since you are being so meticulous and all, I can go ahead and tell you what you already know. Answer the first. I escaped the reset because I was in the Wandering Sea. The Wandering Sea is like its own little singularity. It is always drifting between the world's textures. That kept it safe even while the world was being wiped clean. Answer the second. I came to the Wandering Sea because I predicted this future. Trihermes collects, organizes, and makes records of a ton of data about the Earth, just like Chaldeus. It is like a huge sea of information, all there for the taking. For alchemists like us, it might as well be our own primordial soup. I was just taking a little dip in that sea, without my father knowing, of course, when I ended up arriving at that prediction. In short, I was not sure how, but I knew the world would cease to exist in 2020. It was the biggest dilemma of my life, to say the least. I knew I had to do something, so I told my father about my prediction. But that theater reject excuse for great head of Atlas told me was, I see humanity ending every day. Don't waste my time with trivialities like this. Besides, you discovered this problem, my darling Sion. Don't you think you should be the one to solve it? And that was when it really hit me just how understaffed the Atlas Institute really was. Every person there had their hands full stopping some version of the end of the world that they had seen. Yikes. While I am at it, have a little bonus. Answer the third the moment I made my decision. I know, I will go to the Wandering Sea. So I took the parts I was using to make Trismegistus 2 and used them to build a Hermes instead, then knocked on the Wandering Sea's front door. By doing so, I secured a safe haven for both myself and future collaborators. 2 birds, 1 stone. I was certain that no matter how things unfolded, Chaldea was going to get knocked out of commission. It would be too important for our unknown invader. There are pretty much 2 ways the world can end. Gradually and suddenly. Usually things would go gradually, progressing in stages until the lights go out, so to speak. There are leaders all around the world doing their best to identify those scenarios and keep them at bay. Meanwhile, the sudden types are more like traffic accidents, where everything happens all at once. Nothing much one can do, no matter how smart. For that sort of thing, ray shifting was all we had to fight back. And what is happening right now, with the world bleached white thanks to invaders from outer space, is no exception. Thus, anyone meticulous enough to put together a plan like this would never overlook Chaldea, seeing as you were the only ones capable of ray shifting. I certainly would not. If I were trying to destroy Earth, Chaldea would be right at the top of my hit list. In fact, taking it out would be my opening move. Sorry, I should have kept that to myself. So, even though I had a base to fight back from, there was still not anything I could do on my own. I mean, I did not know who was attacking or how they would do it. So really, the only thing I could do was put my trust in you guys. If these invader things saw you as that big of a threat, I was sure you could prove there was a reason for that. I knew you would survive, and you would not give up, no matter how bad things got. So, knowing that you would fight back, my task got a lot simpler. I would make you a new base. I would create a second Chaldea for you and keep it ready and waiting. That was really the only answer I could come up with at the time. And now, even though you have had no idea about any of this, you made it here. And that is all I have. Thanks for listening. So you really believed in us. Aw, stop. You're gonna make me blush. But thanks, Sion. This is probably where the last version of me would say you should have actually gotten in contact with us ahead of time, but... Are you crazy? I'm far too shy for that. Besides, if you tell people their future, you end up changing that future and having to come up with a whole new plan from scratch. Yup. Exactly. It would have taken time to recalculate, and we almost certainly did not have any to spare. So I decided this was the best course of action. Okay, that makes sense, but that still doesn't explain some things. Like, why are there no other mages from the Wandering Sea here? They avoided the big reset just like you did, right? So why is it just you and Captain now? Oh, they did not think this blank Earth thing was their problem, just as my father did not. No, if anything, they were even worse. They honestly did not care if post-AD humanity lived or died. Right when this whole bleaching thing started and the cryptors were giving their victory speech, they said, "You're the ones who should do something about this cataclysm. We no longer care what happens to human civilization. We do understand the attackers' ideals, but regardless, we do not share them." Then they just up and left. Oh, but before they did, they also said you may invite the mages of Chaldea here if you wish. Feel free to use the Wandering Sea, but only in specified areas. But take care not to enter our workshop. We can't promise you'll survive the experience. Huh. Interesting. Anyway, this place used to be the Wandering Sea's entrance, so it connects to a workshop devoted to bringing back several different ages of gods. Not that that does us much good now, though, since it has a giant stone gate blocking it. I see. So the Wandering Sea's most prominent figures saw no value in post-AD humanity. No matter, the Wandering Sea's magecraft is magecraft from the Age of Gods. There's no telling how powerful it is. We must find some way to open that stone gate and get them to help us. Mr. Gordoff? Don't be ridiculous, Holmes. You shouldn't even be looking at that gate, let alone touching it. Oh, God, it's as if that academy principal is waiting for me just behind this gate. How can this be happening? That single gate feels as though it could shatter several lords at once. I don't know what he's on about, but he's clearly more terrified than I've ever seen him. So it may be best if we leave that gate alone. The last thing we need right now is making more enemies. The first order of business is to get the Shadow Border repaired. As long as we have a working ship, we can leave the Wandering Sea behind whenever we want. I appreciate the offer, Sion, but I'll handle the border's repairs myself. We don't want to impose on... And he's already done, isn't he? Hey, Da Vinci! I'm sorry, I tried to hide in the border like you told me to, but they still managed to find me. So much for our last bit of insurance. How did you screw up this time, Munier? How could they have found that room when I'm the only one who even knew it existed? Well, a bunch of them got into the border and they were really cute, so before I knew it, I was going over to say hello. Wait, no, it's not like that. See, I couldn't have them fiddling with the border and messing things up, so I decided to give them a piece of my mind. Sure. Sorry, you will have to forgive Captain. Fixing up ships is kind of his thing. Anyway, why not hold off on those repairs until later, Da Vinci? After all, there's something else we need to do. Something else? That's right! What you need is a new base and new rooms. So that is what we are going to make right now. Your new Chaldea base. Thank you, Sion. Thank you. Oh my god, there's more? Okay, I'm gonna end this episode here. Wow, I didn't expect the prologue to be more than one video. Okay. I'll see you next time.